you are listening to
the WrestleGeddon podcast.
the WrestleGeddon podcast.
What's up, wrestling fans? It's another Friday, and you know what that means. It's the WrestleGeddon podcast live right here on youtube.com/forthecollection and on facebook.com/WrestleGeddonPod. We are ready to rock and roll this week. We got some news to talk about. Of course, we got the weekly wrap up, our instant replay section, and some other stuff, and all that stuff and more stuff and stuff. But I'm the Heat, Chris Matthews. He's the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland. Carl, how the hell are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's
good to hear.
Yeah, having a great time.
Having a good time. Watching LA Knight and Braun Strowman.
Yep. I felt like they should have made John Cena go for the U.S. title. Brought back the spinner belt.
The only good spinner belt.
I like both of them. Like, I wasn't too upset. The only thing I was like weird is they kept it like after he lost it or whatever. But
yeah. Oh, Jacob Fatu. Taking out everybody.
what I like to see.
Damn straight. Let's see Jacob Fatu get gold before Solo. Well, technically he already did because he had the
North American.
The tag titles. And yeah, Solo was North American champion too. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Main roster gold before. Yeah, I mean he already had main roster gold before Solo because he was defending the tag belts after Tonga Loa got injured the first time.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right. But yeah, let's kick it off like we always do with the random band entrance theme.
No holds barred. Woo!
Oh, it's always something.
Yeah, it was random.
Always something when we're live.
It was definitely random.
Man, that was random. So, I don't know why. Like I saw it said no holds barred, and I clicked it anyway. Oh man, that's great. All right, the random band was the Flaming Lips. Oh, the Flaming Lips. You can go ahead and go first. I think I went
All
first.
right. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the band. I mean, they had like some cute songs or whatever. So I didn't really go with like the lyrics or nothing to this one, but I just kind of went with like the beat and stuff. But I decided to go with "She Don't Use Kelly." I don't know if you heard that one when you was flipping through.
It's on another. That was on another soundtrack. What soundtrack was that on? Well, I'm looking that up. I went with mine came from another soundtrack too, which was Bad Days from the Batman Forever soundtrack.
You in the Batman Forever soundtrack?
Yeah. I had this on. It was a good soundtrack. A Method Man on there and some other stuff. That was good. Kiss from a Rose. Like, come on, man.
Kiss from a Rose.
I remember that video.
They had Gary, George Clooney.
What soundtrack was this on? This is driving me nuts now.
Was it on the soundtrack?
I'm almost positive it was.
Might not have been.
Might not have been. I know I heard it.
Was you only looking up soundtracks when you was going through it?
No, I was just looking up. I was listening to other songs, but I like that Bad Day song.
Well, I googled "You Don't Use Jelly" soundtrack, and
I remember seeing the video on an episode of Beavis and Butthead.
it don't say, it don't show. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was. Maybe it does, like that. It didn't come up.
Yeah. That's funny too. I might be having like a Mandela effect or something here, but I know it was on a soundtrack that I had. Oh well. It'll come to me later.
All right.
Oh, awesome. So who we got for next week?
I can't remember if we done this one or not because I know we done like several rappers that you didn't like. Have we done the baby?
No.
Well, we have the baby.
Yay. That should be a fun one.
You don't like the baby?
I don't think I've ever listened to any of his music at all. Or
Okay,
even heard a single song.
that's crazy.
I kind of stick to my music bubble.
Okay, I get you. I heard the baby on the way back from Cameron under the ballet.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, came on the radio.
So I don't even listen to the radio that often. Everything is like either podcasts or Amazon Music.
Hmm.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's get into
The instant replay.
One Fall, baby. Instant replay. Okay, so we got some news. Got some big shakeups out of TNA this week. Looks like they fired quite a bit of their upper management. One of them including Gail Kim. There's not yet been a reason as to why they were fired. It seemed a lot of people are leaning towards they did say it was part of a management restructuring, is what Anthem had said in their public statement. But I think there might be something a little more to this on the horizon.
Well, I know a few rumors that were going around this week was that, well, I heard two rumors. One, it was like that they were restructuring because WWE was going to purchase TNA and rebrand it like they did the Evolve.
Yeah.
Or I also heard too that a former owner of WWE may be interested in purchasing the company. It's one of those things where who knows?
Yeah.
If either one
I did hear the Vince rumor. Did see that. Because why do companies restructure their management? Just out of nowhere unless they're not gearing up for like a potential sale.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Like sometimes, like if you don't like the way things are going, like they restructured when they got rid of like Bischoff and Hogan and all of them. So there's been several times where TNA's switched management, switched owners.
Yeah.
At one point, had owners in court fighting each other over who owned it.
Because that's because didn't Jarrett leave when they brought in Hogan and Bischoff?
Yeah, Jarrett sold. Jarrett sold. Yeah, he sold the company, or at least a majority of the company, to like a different group. And yeah, that was around the time he started that Global Force.
Global Force
Wrestling. Yeah.
Which
and
ended
then
up folded back into TNA.
And then it got Dixie Carter somehow ended up owning it, and then he sold a part of Billy Corgan got into it somehow. That's how he ended up getting NWA. Is
I think Corgan was investing he was investing in TNA before going into NWA.
Well, I think that's how he got NWA. That was like a court settlement. I thought it was like because he owned part of TNA or whatever, but I guess like because they couldn't agree, like I guess like he settled on just getting the NWA name or whatever, and decided to make his own like little promotion out of it.
Yep. And then of course they got sold to Anthem.
And they got sold to Anthem. So yeah, they've had a few mix-ups, but it's kind of weird for it. Like things to be going right now. Kind of seems kind of weird to be like switching. You know what I mean? I can understand like if it's like maybe it is a shit show behind the scenes or something, but like on TV it looks like a pretty good product. But who knows?
I hear like when I listen to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, Brian Myers talks about like they get questions, they do like their Q&As and stuff, and he they field questions for like the TNA locker room and things like that, and he's has nothing but positive things to say, like consistently. So and I think that's the same with a lot of people in TNA too, is that they're like consistent with how the locker room is and management and stuff like that, even after the firing of Scott D'Amore. But we'll see what happens once the dust settles with this recent round of restructuring, because Gail Kim was the big force of the Knockouts division.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was kind of a weird one, for sure. But yeah, it's one of those things where if they do decide to buy out TNA, right, and their goal is to do like they did with the Evolve, I hope that they don't like completely redo it. You know what I mean? Like get rid of the like complete roster. Because that's what they did with Evolve. They got rid of the complete roster, and then it's like, oh, it's starting from
and
ground zero.
Rebranded it as a developmental show for NXT.
Yeah. Which it's been okay. It's been okay. Like I've watched it. I mean, it being a developmental for NXT, like I've watched it more than I watched like a regular Evolve. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at least they make it available to watch. You don't have to hit down like YouTube videos and stuff. So it's on
I still gotta
TV.
check it out. I haven't sat down to watch it yet.
But I mean, if they could keep the roster, that would be more interesting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because then it's like, kind of what do they do with it? Do they like bring it into the WWE fold, or do they keep it like a completely separate brand? Which is like one of those things like I think they were thinking about doing with WCW when they bought it out, but they couldn't secure. Well, that and like most of the contracts were kind of like garbage, so they
Time
couldn't.
Warner contracts, yeah.
Yeah, so they couldn't really like hold on to the talent, so they couldn't keep it a separate show because they wouldn't have nobody on it.
We could do like a whole, we could do a whole like hour-long episode just on the invasion.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the invasion itself was kind of terrible, but I think the plan was like, or what they thought, or idea before they did the invasion angle. I thought like one of the ideas was like, hey, we're gonna might run it as like a separate show.
Yeah. But it's the part of that too, like with all the top stars like Hogan and Nash and like all those guys, Goldberg being under AOL Time Warner contracts, like you don't have your heavy hitters from WCW coming in as part of the the buyout agreement for WCW, the rest of those contracts. So that's like part of the reason why it failed. Like the biggest name guy that you got in that buyout was Booker T. I mean, it's no slight against Booker T. Booker T is amazing.
Yeah,
and you look, he's probably one of the most successful ones to come
from
part of that buyout from WCW.
Yeah, but to be fair, Booker T was like the only one that declined the money to sit at home,
Yeah.
and he decided to try to make a name for himself on WWE. So, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we could do an entire episode on the invasion. Maybe some point when we run out of other stuff to do, we'll go through that.
Maybe we can start up a second podcast, and we can call it like the invasion and watch along or something.
Yeah. WrestleGeddon invasion. But I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if WWE buys TNA by the end of the year. Or
Yeah.
TKO or whatever.
What if it's one of the McMahons?
I don't know about that one. I think with his name attached to it, I don't think people would watch it. And even if he went in as like just an investor in it, like people are still gonna know that because it's the age of the internet. Yeah, like people are gonna know that he's behind it. Like he'd have to be like a silent partner or something, and
maybe he buys it and then like has Shane go in like he did in WCW.
Yeah,
Shane acts like he bought it.
But the tape library alone, and like all the the tape library for because you got AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, so many guys that have walked through TNA that are in WWE, CM Punk. Like just that footage alone is worth the price of whatever they would pay to purchase that company. And then on top of that, you've got all the merchandising rights to take because they're putting Abyss in the game this year for 2K25 as part of like some of their deal with TNA. So he's part of one of the upcoming DLC patches. And then like you could do the same thing with AJ Styles, with Bobby Roode. You could do like an entire like TNA thing with the games and figures and merch and stuff like they did with some of the WCW stuff.
Yeah, the only thing with that though is like if they get on that route, I'm pretty sure they're probably just gonna close the doors.
Yeah, I'm sure they keep they'd bring some of the guys back into the fold, like back in under the WWE banner, like Moose and Joe Hendry, and
I would hope. Right.
So, hopefully. Yeah, but that was some of like the biggest news for the week was that. I kind of was like, what do you mean they fired Gail Kim? Like, how the hell do you fire Gail Kim? She's been there for 17 years. Like, an in-ring competitor and behind, like, the driving force behind your knockouts division. It's insane. But whoever, I don't know if WWE's got any interest in using her as a producer for like NXT or anything like that. But if she doesn't get picked up by WWE in that role, then Tony Khan needs to whip out that checkbook and be like, "Hey, you come work for us."
But will he allow her to work though? That's the thing.
Yeah, he'll put her in charge of Ring of Honor or something. But, yeah,
I'll have a reverse Jeff Jarrett and lose Joey Town, man.
yeah, why not? Some other mentioned AEW there a little bit. It's it is official. Mina Shirakawa will be heading to AEW full time starting in some point in April. I'm kind of excited to see that. I think there's still more. There's more of a story, still more story to tell with Mina, Tony Storm, and Mariah May. So I feel like that there's still more that they can work with that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting. I still say they need a women's tag division, but that's just me.
Yeah, maybe.
What else we got here? We got some new announcements for WWE Nostalgia contracts. Mark Henry, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, and Crush have all been announced to be under new Nostalgia / Legends deals. It's crazy.
You said Mark Henry who?
Mark Henry, Kamala, King Kong Bundy, and Crush.
Okay.
King Kong Bundy hasn't been under. He's had one figure come out for Mattel since they've had the license. And it was a MattyCollector.com exclusive as part of like a Lost Legends set. And that's the only figure that came out. They put him in a King Kong Bundy shirt. It was like the one with his arms stretched out.
Yeah.
Like an old school shirt, and it's supposed to say King Kong Bundy on it. But all it said was Bundy because they couldn't use King Kong because obviously being trademarked with Universal.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But so it was still a cool figure. Unfortunately, I missed that one, but it was cool.
Yeah. I used to have a King Kong Bundy figure with the ass wore off of it when I played with it.
You're rubbing King Kong Bundy's ass, huh?
Yeah, apparently. King Kong Bundy and Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan.
I saw those LJN figures, man. That paint rub is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, man, awesome stuff. Mandy Rose seemed to have gotten her feelings hurt. I was going to say something else, but I didn't think it was appropriate. But she seems to have gotten her feelings hurt since WWE did not acknowledge her as the first double champion in NXT, which is not true. And they were saying that, because they're touting Stephanie Vaquer as the first double women's champion in NXT. To the point where numerous fans had pointed out on Mandy's social media posts that her winning the women's UK title was part of a unification match and not a title for title match. So the second she won the match, the UK title did not exist anymore. So she wasn't very happy about that one either.
I mean, she might have a point.
I like 2 seconds of a point.
I mean, it was still a title versus title. It wasn't like it was
Yeah.
It wasn't like no dispute in like who was champion. They both were legit champions. Uh, it wasn't like no like somebody left town. It was the same belt that they were unifying. It was two separate belts for two separate countries.
Yeah. But she didn't. Well, she wasn't defending two different titles. She was defending one title after
Yeah, no,
the
but she
unification match.
still won it. She still held two titles.
Yeah. I get your point. I'm still on the it was a unification match, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, but yeah. That's been the other thing. Have you seen the TikTok video or social media videos of the female fan basically feeling up Cody and Punk as she's trying to get pictures with them?
I've seen people talk about it. I've seen a little bit of the video, but I couldn't really tell like what she did except from her like grabbing on his head or something.
Yeah, she there's like multiple angles of the video, especially with Punk. She put her arm around Punk. Punk, backed up and told her, "Hey, don't do that again." Then he got back in to take the picture with her, and that the second time she put her hand and started running it down his back, and Punk, pulled himself back again. He said, "Look, I already warned you once." He's like, "You do it again, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face."
Yeah.
So, she did it Cody first because Cody came through first. Cody was, going through like the whole, like the hand thing and stuff. Goes up to a little kid that, had, his Sharpie and wanted to get something signed. She grabbed Cody's hand and pulled him back to her so she could get the picture with him. And then when she went to take the picture, she like did the same thing she did to Punk and started to put her arm around him. And he kind of did like a quick like duck down type of thing and took a couple steps back and took the picture.
Yeah.
So this is like the reason why I'm bringing this up is a lot of people are commenting like, "Hey, just let it, should just let it slide. It's not a big deal." But if it was a male fan doing that with a female fan, there would have been like outrage and people calling for that fan to get banned from the shows and stuff like that. So it just seems that amongst the fans we're setting a double standard for interactions with male and female superstars between male and female fans. So we're supposed to let it slide because it's a female that's, putting her hands all over a male wrestler when they've told her not to, or they asked her not to, and she's doing it and she continues to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like saying if it was a male fan that did this to a female wrestler, they would have pulled him from the meet and greet or whatever, pulled him out and kicked him out of the building.
Yeah. Somebody said, I don't know for sure, not that she was like an OnlyFans model and she was trying to get content.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch of like if you touch someone, they ask you not to touch them. Yeah, that's harassment. Any way you want to look at it. Kind of borderline assault, depending on, what you grab and touch, or they tell you not to grab and touch. Both of those guys are married. There's probably some, young wrestlers out there that would probably let you touch all over them just because they're single and ready to mingle. But that's not everybody. So yeah, if anybody tells you like don't touch me, like don't touch them. Be grateful that they're going to take a picture with you or sign your autograph. They don't owe you anything. No matter who you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And apparently that, going through this and reading a lot of these comments and stuff, apparently it's not the first time she's done it. She's done it at other WWE shows. She's done it at AEW shows. And it's been like the same result with those other things. It's like, hey, don't touch me. Or, hey, don't do that again type of thing. And, she continues to push it. So,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's every once in a while there's like unique situations where somebody might be like autistic or not know any better, right? They have something that doesn't allow them to pick up on social cues. But barring that, don't assume that you can touch somebody.
Yeah, that's right up there with like airport stalkers.
Like, it don't matter how cute you are or how cute you think you are. Like, not everybody's. It's kind of like similar to remember that gas station video like a while back? It's probably been about like 4 or 5 years ago, where there was like 2 women that were drunk, kind of sexually harassing a guy, and he was like, like, leave me alone, like, I'm not into you, like, please stop.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
Yeah, ladies, not everybody's into you.
Oh man, just don't know anymore. All right, that's pretty much everything I had for news that I want to talk about this week. Let's go ahead and kick it over to the weekly wrap up here for wrestling. Bounce back to SmackDown last week. We had the Street Profits take on Los Lotharios. Great match between these two teams.
Yeah.
And I don't think Humberto and Angel Garza get the credit that they deserve for like their in-ring ability. Like, these two guys are awesome. And then you put them in there with, the Street Profits, and you get that type of matchup. It's just, I don't know. It's just a great match. Especially for a team that's been like kind of swept under the rug a little bit and straddled with, crap gimmicks like selling people timeshares in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Come out and
that's the whole tag division, really. It's like they've all been thrown under a rug. I am enjoying the Street Profits now. I know I wasn't their biggest fan there for the longest. Like if you listen to the podcast, but a heel move from them. I kind of like the heel Profits.
Yeah, they've done that. Like I said, they went from like a goofy, fun-loving tag team to having more of a badass edge to them, and it's I think it works for them. Like, they still kind of mix some of that humor into it last week when they were talking with Santos Escobar and the rest of Legado, and they're starting to walk away, and Montez is like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, so they still kind of factor that in there. I mean, which is great, because I think that's just Montez's character and just him in general. Like, it just doesn't seem like he's going to be able to go without doing something like that. But yeah, I think SmackDown's tag division is probably one of the better tag divisions right now in WWE.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, so I just want to circle back to that from SmackDown
Hey,
last week.
you're good. I don't want to talk about John Cena.
You don't want to talk
Okay.
about John Cena?
No, it pisses me off every time I see him now.
Oh, he's.
It's not
I'm
even
just
good.
gonna
Yeah, it's not good at all.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and then we'll move on to the Intercontinental title match. John Cena's promo this past Monday, was pretty much the same promo, just tweaked a little bit. It's like future John Cena went to past John Cena from a week ago and said, "Hey, let me copy your homework. I'm just going to tweak it a little bit." And said basically the same thing that he said before. He did throw in a couple things in there, like the he's like, I introduced the spinner belt and you all said it was stupid and looked like a toy, and and it was garbage, it was trash. He's like, then he goes on to say, like, I'm going to retire with this title, and then what comes in to replace it is going to be a toy because I have the real title at home with me.
Yeah, so he basically sold CM Punk's fucking
Yeah.
promo against him because he's not that creative and can come up with anything on his own.
So there was that, and that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on. That it's just like it was the same thing as from the week before. And
Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, there's a few people that think it's good, but I'm not one of those people. Like, I'm over the Cena Cody Rhodes thing. I don't care to see the match. Well, I'll watch it, yeah, probably because it's gonna be on WrestleMania. Um, if it is the main event, I don't know. I might turn it, depending on how good the show was beforehand. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it just like it doesn't interest me at all one bit.
was confirmed. Well, it's coming up tonight, but SmackDown had already aired earlier, so we may dip into a little bit of spoilers here for the U.S. crowd. But by the time you guys listen to this anyway or watch it, apparently it's been confirmed that the triple threat match with Punk, Roman, and Rollins is going to main event one of the nights.
It should.
Yeah.
It should. It's better than what they have going in either title. I mean, the only other title thing that you could put in there would be the Charlotte Flair,
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton. You know what I mean? Like, and I think people are so pissed off about the whole Charlotte Flair thing, which I don't understand why. Why are you fucking pissed off at Charlotte Flair, but you're not pissed off at John Cena? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It makes no sense.
That's my thing. Like, these people act like that. They show up and like, hey, I want to win the Rumble. I want a title match at Mania. I want this. I want this. Like, no. Like, they come in and they go to their boss, who's Triple H, Vince McMahon, whoever, and this is what they tell you that's going to happen, and this is what you're doing, whether you want to or not. So
I guarantee you, I'll bet both my left nut and my right nut that the Charlotte Flair Tiffany Stratton match will be better than
Cena and Cody.
Both Cena and Cody, and probably Gunther and Day.
More, I kind of have to agree with that. Because you're looking at two women that are very similar in ring style, very athletic. Charlotte is one of the stronger women on the roster, deceptively strong, looking at her, her frame and her build. We know how athletic she is. We've seen her do, the twisting moonsaults off the top rope and everything else. So,
I mean, to be fair,
it's gonna be a good match.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't seen, what she was like after her injury.
Yeah.
But she hasn't had like like a crazy. I mean, she was in the Rumble, but she hasn't had like any kind of like crazy uh like banger or anything like that. But it's like one of those things where like I don't understand like where the hate comes from because take your favorite wrestler, right? Your favorite women's wrestler, assuming that they're from this era, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what's their best match? Okay, Asuka, who's her best match with? Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania, right? Ronda Rousey, who's her best match against? Charlotte Flair. Uh, Natalia, who was her favorite? What was her best match against? Charlotte Flair, NXT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, uh, uh, e- EO and Rhea Ripley, who was their best match against? Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean?
Aside from
Like,
each other.
yeah. Besides for each other, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, her best match. Who was against? Charlotte Flair. Bailey, who was her favorite best match against? Oh, it was like a triple threat between her, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and who? Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, there was
like
there was what, like a
you're
month straight where Charlotte and Becky were trading the title back and forth? Or
yeah,
Charlotte and Sasha, one of the two?
yeah.
I mean,
It's like your favorite wrestler, like their best matches have been with Charlotte Flair.
mhm.
You might not like Charlotte Flair, which there's a lot of people that don't like Ric Flair, but it's like you go back and it's like your favorite match of your favorite wrestler was probably against Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
Let
And that's
Tiffany have her iconic match, and guess what? I bet you 10 years from now we're gonna be like, yeah, Tiffany Stratton was a hell of a women's wrestler. What's her best match? Remember that time she wrestled Charlotte Flair for the title? Yeah, it's gonna be that.
that's what it's going to be. Like, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I like Charlotte. I'm not the biggest Ric Flair fan, as I've said numerous times, but I don't deny that those matches between Ric Flair and Sting, Ric Flair and Steamboat, Flair and Savage, like, I don't deny that those matches were, some of the best matches in wrestling history. Flair and Dusty, like, you can't talk about some of these guys without including Ric Flair into that group. Even Ric Flair versus Undertaker was a great match.
Yeah.
The holds barred match. Freaking Ric
I'm
Flair and
just
Shawn
saying,
Michaels in that retirement match was a great match.
yeah,
So, and this is Ric
yeah,
Flair past his prime. So,
yeah. And I'm just saying, like, if go to the men's side of things, right? Your favorite wrestler, their best match ain't with John Cena, unless your favorite wrestler is John Cena. You know what I mean? Like nobody, like I mean, he's had a couple good feuds with Punk, but it definitely wasn't Punk's best match. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Like
So,
you know, just because you're a fan of him because he's a face and saying all this goofy stuff. The only reason why you don't like Charlotte because most of her career she has been a heel. That's what I don't get it.
yeah,
I do not get it.
it's crazy. I don't know. I'm right there with you. So just so many people hate on Charlotte Flair for no reason. Like, I understand that there's a reason, because I think it has to do with her last name and
Nepotism.
the
Yeah,
nepotism and all that. But if that was the case, look at all these other legends that their kids have come up through WWE.
like the entire bloodline. Randy
Yeah,
Orton. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
The Rock.
So, but you've got other guys too, like Ted DiBiase Jr., like, who, yeah, he had to work for his spot on the roster. He didn't just get it handed to him. And where is he now? Not wrestling anymore. Look what they did with Cody, like, coming through. And Cody had to leave, get fired. Cody got fired from WWE, and he went and reinvented himself and came back because they didn't want to break him off from the Stardust character. Oh, and it's just there's just so much like, it's crazy. Like Brian Pillman Jr. Like WWE didn't snatch him up like right away because he's Brian Pillman's son. Like he had to go spend time in AEW and get treated like shit before they brought him in.
Yeah. If you didn't think Charlotte had like incredible matches in the NXT, like you're crazy.
Absolutely. Nia Jax's best matches were with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like your favorite wrestler, like woman wrestler, like I said, like Garnet, that they came out in this era, right? And your favorite women's wrestler is not like Trish Stratus or something. Their best match has been with Charlotte Flair. Like she gets the best out of whoever she has. That's why when she won the Rumble, I didn't mind because I'm like whoever she goes after. Whether it be Rhea Ripley, they've had bangers before. Like it was gonna be a good match.
Yeah. Could you imagine if WWE picks up Britt Baker, and we get Britt Baker and Charlotte Flair, and how good Charlotte's gonna make Britt Baker look?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can do it, it'd be Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like. These girls would be nothing without Charlotte. Like, don't get me wrong, your Rhea Ripley's, your Sasha Banks,
but you just
they're all good wrestlers.
That one person that you go against that get paired up with in wrestling that makes you better because they're gonna take it to another level and they're gonna force you to pull yourself up to another level.
Yeah.
And John Cena has said that numerous times in numerous interviews about his feuds with Punk and Randy Orton. He's like, those are two guys that, are willing to go to the next level up or, make me go to that next level up to put on the best possible show or match that we can do.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to. So you just need someone in there to bring out the best in you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's great how we went from the Cena promo to that.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Yeah. I remembered what I want to talk about. I forgot to put in the notes, and that was El Grande Americano. That whole video package that they did. A lot of people were pissed off about it because they said it's very disrespectful to Lucha Libre culture, disrespectful to Mexico because they called it the Gulf of America. Oh, a lot of people are forgetting WWE is a US-based company. TKO is a US-based company. The majority of the people higher up that work for WWE are unfortunately supporters of the current president. That's just how it is. So I think it ties into this character of Chad Gables, the El Grande Americano, and it just pushes it more into that heel direction.
Yeah. This is my thing. It's like I have no problem with it because he's a heel, right?
Yeah,
like that's a very heelish thing to do. Like I would be more upset, me personally. I'd be more upset if if he was being portrayed as like this, ultra baby face, and then like the Hispanic wrestlers that he went against were the heels, like they did with Hogan and Iron Sheik, or Nikita Koloff and all those guys, and they're supposed to be Russians and Iranians and stuff. It's like I'd much rather it be portrayed the way it is, where the douchey American guy's the heel, because it better reflects how we feel as a society, of rooting for, the immigrant versus the cocky bro guy.
Yep. Oh, but yeah, so El Grande Americano makes his debut from the Gulf of America. Takes on Dragon Lee. Wins the match by putting Dragon Lee in the ankle lock after removing Dragon Lee's mask.
Yeah.
Super heel move right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a great match. I mean, it's Chad Gable, and Dragon Lee. They're great in-ring performers. They're gonna put on a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of glad that they went, because this could have been Penta and the LWO feuding with Chad Gable. I'm so glad they pivoted from this to when it's just Chad Gable versus the LWO, which is good because we wouldn't have gotten this banger of a main event with Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental title against Penta, which unfortunately did end in a DQ as Finn Balor got involved. Took them both out. Or took out Breaker. So Penta won by DQ. Finn and Dom traded some chair shots to Breaker. Dom handed the chair to Penta to hit Breaker with, and Penta, when he hit Dom with the chair. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, hit Dom with the chair, and then they got it just turned into like a Judgment Day brawl.
Yeah.
So, I think we're gonna get. I won't be surprised if we don't get like a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Breaker, Penta, Kaiser, Sheamus, Finn, and I throw Dom in there too.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know if maybe they changed it up this year instead of getting Dom versus Rey Mysterio at Mania. We get Penta versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, not Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. I think having some kind of like multi-person match for the IC title would be a good route to go.
It could be.
And I think that, and plus you can play into that whole with the Judgment Day and Dom and Finn, maybe them kicking Finn out the Judgment Day.
Maybe Braun Breaker joins the Judgment Day.
Oh man, Judgment Day needs Braun Breaker more than Braun Breaker needs a Judgment Day. Just recruit R-Truth. Oh, awesome stuff. So that was Raw, pretty much. There's a lot of people that are still kind of getting a little antsy. We still have a few weeks till Mania, and people are like, "Oh, we don't even know like the full card for Mania yet." Like, I'd rather just know like the marquee matches than knowing like the entire card.
Yeah, I'd rather like build to something. Through that. I'm trying to remember. There's something else we forgot. That
Oh, it
happened.
was
The Usos.
the Usos. Yeah, Usos reunited.
Usos?
And they're playing into the whole Jay kind of not being as focused and making mistakes. So they brought up him in that the dive from the over the top rope from last week where he kind of messed that up. And then they showed him kind of like tripping as he was going for the spear this week on Gunther. And they had that backstage segment with Jimmy and Jay talking about how like Jay needs to get out of his head and focus more on what's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, which to me, I don't know. It's like the people that's making a big deal about him missing a move or two. That's like miss moves all the time. Like
Yeah.
whether you see them or not. Some people are better at recovering and making the move look like something. Um, but yeah, it's like you can't do this shit, so shut the fuck up.
I know, right? I can't
You know
jump
what I
over
mean?
the
Like,
top rope. But I'm like, I thought it was pretty cool that they kind of tied it into the story with Jay and Gunther, and Jay being like, in his head, or Jay in his own head, kind of
yeah,
doubting himself, I guess, or some self doubt.
like they did with Damian Priest, but it
Yeah,
was like the opposite. Where Gunther was doubting himself, but now it's Jay doubting himself.
yeah. We had that. The other thing that happened too, we had what was it?
Oh,
The thing
the
with the women's title.
Bianca, yeah, Bianca Belair getting booed. I seen a lot of people were
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah. So we've got, so that turned into Bianca, or not Bianca, Rhea versus Io for next week. This coming Raw for the women's title. Winner of that will go on to WrestleMania to take on Bianca. Bianca will be the special guest referee for this matchup coming up on Raw between Rhea and Io. I still believe we're going to get a triple threat match between Bianca, Io, and Rhea at WrestleMania for that women's title. I mean, I think something's going to happen Monday where Bianca's going to take a bump, ref bump. We're going to see another ref come in. Something's going to happen. It'll be like a submission pin type thing. And, one of them taps, one of them gets pinned. Like Bianca counts to 3. The other ref calls, the submission, and we go into the triple threat. Or they both the match gets no contest, and Pierce is like triple threat match at Mania.
Maybe Bianca goes heel and just beats them both down.
Yeah. That'd be cool. But we know we're talking about like some people being upset about not knowing matches for Mania, but we know we're getting Cody and Cena. We know we're getting.
Stop reminding me, Chris.
Sorry. We know we're getting that triple threat match with Rollins, Punk, and Roman. We're getting Randy Orton and KO. Jimmy Uso and Damian Priest, or not Damian Priest, Jey Uso and fucking Gunther. I'm sure we're gonna get something involving Priest and McIntyre. But like you can see where things are going just by watching the weekly shows.
Yeah, it's still about a month away.
Yeah,
and people have already bought their tickets. It's not like
WrestleMania.
Yeah. And it's some stuff you want to, like I said, build into a storyline because not everything's gonna be a title match or anything like that. But I'm hoping that we get some of these guys involved in Mania that deserve to be in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Jacob Fatu being in WrestleMania, I probably won't watch it.
I'm sure we'll get something with him and Strowman at the very least, or him, Strowman, and LA Knight or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see him and Strowman again. I'd rather see him versus like somebody new. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus LA Knight. That'd be cool for the US title.
Jacob Fatu needs a title match at WrestleMania, and he needs to win that match.
Yeah.
I don't care what title it's for. He needs something.
Yeah.
He should be like Gunther, like dominating, whatever title he's got. So if they give him the U.S. title, like Jacob just needs to dominate with that thing.
Yeah. Chad Gable, I feel like he definitely needs a match, you know, whether it be
Yeah.
against Mysterio or somebody.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get a mask versus mask match with Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You know, maybe
I
get
don't
some
think
tag team matches.
WWE really hasn't done like a mask versus mask versus mask match, because it like really the only mask guys that they had were like Hurricane and Rey Mysterio. Like,
I think they've had like mask matches.
'cause I know they've done
I can't remember.
like hair versus hair and a couple things like
Yeah,
that.
trying to remember. Like, well, no, maybe they haven't.
Yeah, I remember them in WCW. The mask versus hair matches with Jericho and the different luchadors, and mask versus mask, and all that. So, yeah.
I think maybe Rey Mysterio's probably had one. He just didn't lose in WWE.
Yeah, it might have been a mask versus hair match or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. But
anywho, for Dom.
Yeah. Pop over a little quick here. Tidbit for NXT. Stephanie Vaquer did defend both her titles, and she did retain both the North American Women's title and the NXT Women's Championship. So congrats to her. Still going in double champ, heading into Stand and Deliver, which I'm sure she'll end up defending both those titles again. Dynamite this week. I had Collision, so I had Collision in here, but I did not watch Collision this week. It was like a 2-night thing, so they had like Slam Dunk Saturday and Slam Dunk Sunday. Oh,
and did you slam dunk?
I may have slam dumped, but
yeah, I did not watch it either. I did see like a couple highlights. I remember like Swerve and like Moxley had like a altercation slash kind of stare down. Trying to remember if there's anything else worth.
Oh, that I got that Swerve and Mox. That was pretty good. Probably one of the highlights this week for AEW.
Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa teamed up.
Thunder tits.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, MJF had a segment with MVP. MJF's like, yeah, I'm gonna take you up on your offer. There's MVP out there in the ring with them, and like, they get ready to celebrate, and out comes Lashley and Benjamin. And Bobby tells him, give me the card. Then he rips the card up. And then tells him, no, dude, you're not welcome with us. So then they go into that, and then you had a backstage segment between the Hurt Syndicate, where MVP is trying to convince them to bring MJF in. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like MJF as a face, but I guess you have to do it.
We had interview segment with Rated FTR as well. They were talking. Dax pretty much, apologized for his actions from last week's Dynamite. His emotions got the best of him. All this stuff. Talk about how they put their tag team aspirations aside to help Cope deal with the help him get the AEW World Title. And Cope's like, nah, dude, I came back to help you guys, with the Death Riders. They put bags over your head and tried to kill you. So they go on through that, and Dax is like, I just want to get those tag titles. And Cash is like, look, y'all both my best friends. He's like, I still want to do this together with you guys. And I think we should go for the trios titles. And that's just like, I agree. And reluctantly, Dax is like, okay. So I think we might see something more with Dax and Cash and Cope. Maybe maybe like a split of rated FTR.
Yeah.
Swerve and Mox was pretty good. It was a good segment. Swerve calls out Moxley. Moxley comes out by himself. Nana standing outside the ring. Claudio comes up behind him. And then Marina Shafir comes out from the back. And then Willow shows up with a pipe. Well, Shafir had a crowbar. And then there wasn't like anything real physical between all of them. It was mainly Shafir and Willow that got into it. So I think we're going to see something involving the two of them soon. But main event we talked about was Toni Storm, Thunder Rosa taking on Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne. I think this is the first time I've ever seen Penelope Ford in a main event on Dynamite. That nice little backstage segment with Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm going back and forth over the women's title, and Tony changing the subject to the match tonight, and Thunder Rosa talking about you're gonna have to fight of your life against Team Thunder. Going to say Thunderstorm, and Toni Storm interrupts and says Thunder Tits. And talk about how they're gonna get they're gonna get the worst double teaming that they've had in their lives. Toni Storm. But Megan Bayne picked up the win for her team, pinning Toni Storm. Toni looked visibly shaken after that. I don't think she it's like she realized just how big of a bitch Megan Bayne actually is. So.
Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to that, actually. Toni Storm and Megan Bayne coming up at Dynasty for the women's title. It was bad. So it was a pretty decent Dynamite this week. I did not watch TNA. I didn't get a chance to watch that this week. So that's going to bring us to the Elite Figure of the Week. .com. Use the code FT Collect. Save yourself an additional 10% on all in-stock items.
Okay.
It's not Hulk Hogan. No. It is the Elite Series 114 Braun Breaker that I found at Ollie's for $12.99. This is a new set, new figure. New set just started showing up in like Walmart, Targets, and stuff. And Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa out of this set have been popping up at Ollie's.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which
How did
I don't know, unless they overproduce the two of these figures, and I don't know, but $10 off what normal retail price would be. No brainer for me.
This your first Braun Breaker?
It's my first Braun Breaker figure. This is his second Elite figure, third technically, because his first one was a Chase. But I specifically wanted this one This is from his match with Baron Corbin from NXT No Mercy 2023. The reason why I wanted it because it came with that awesome, dog wolf headgear thing that he wore to the ring.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. That's freaking zip ties. There you go. It does come with an extra set of hands too. This one's got closed fists. The other one is the open C grips. So, pretty good likeness. They did a good job on that. Just basic black attire. I'm sure it said badass somewhere on here too, but obviously they couldn't put that on there. But that little wolf face there on the front.
Yeah.
And bam. That just slides right over on the top. And there we go. Pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
And just get a throw the Intercontinental title on them and good to go. Dogs are barking, man. Dogs are barking. Great figure. Need to do he's been mainly wearing like that black ring gear lately. So
yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right, so there's that, and let's get into Fatal 4-Way. All right, Fatal 4-Way this week is the Batman. If you could eliminate one of these Batmen, who would it be? These are all Batmen from the movies. You've got Michael Keaton Batman up there in the top left. George Clooney Batman underneath the 4. Next to that is the Val Kilmer Batman, and then the one up the top right is the Ben Affleck Batman.
That's Ben Affleck. You're not. What's his face?
No, it's Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Batfleck.
Batfleck.
Batfleck. That's what they're calling him when he was making that Justice League movie. They called him Batfleck.
Yeah. So, as many of you know, if I was gonna pick a favorite superhero, it'd probably be Batman. And yeah, Michael Keaton, like anybody that would take him off this list would be, I don't know, stupid. He's the original Batman. Had 2 incredible movies. Both are still watchable this day.
Yep.
A little kid when they came out. Well, not a little kid, but somewhat little kid when they came out. Batman Forever, man. That was the shit. When I was little, I remember I was like so inspired by it that I would draw like different Batman suits and stuff. Like, oh yes, and and different Riddler costumes and stuff. Like, I know like a lot of the critics don't like it, but I still enjoy that movie to this day watching it. And that was Val Kilmer. George Clooney, Batman and Robin. Out of the original set of movies, probably like least favorite, but it was still like I still like it. It was pretty cool seeing Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl.
Alicia Silverstone, hot as hell in that Batgirl costume.
Yeah. So yeah, I like him. If I'm gonna do anything, it will be Ben Affleck Batman. I seen Batman versus Superman. Fell asleep on it twice trying to watch it. Still didn't get all the way through it. I didn't care to watch the Justice League because I'm not a huge fan of Aquaman and Superman. Uh, Ben Affleck, you definitely have to go. Uh, the more recent Batman movie, though, like you could have made it harder, if you would have went with the Twilight guy. What's his name? Robert Pattinson or whatever.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. I gotta watch that.
I mean, some people don't like it. I thought it was a very good take. I like it. Some people could say it's like the emo Batman or whatever, but I liked it. It was more darker than I think people wanted out of a Batman movie, so I didn't care for it as much.
Batman should be dark. Like,
yeah.
And that's that was my biggest thing with the progression of those first 4 Batman movies. Is you look at Batman Returns, and they had, that typical Tim Burton, dark, gritty, tone to it. And then you get into Batman Forever, and you had Joel Schumacher, who took over directing the movie, that series, because he did Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Batman Forever still kind of had some of that darker tone, but then they started, putting in like more brighter colors and stuff like that into it as well. And then you saw that big transition with Batman and Robin, where it was more like lighthearted, campy, brighter color stuff, like the '66 Batman.
I enjoyed the '60s. Yeah, I enjoyed that Batman too. So,
I love Adam West.
Yeah. Christian Bale is another, Batman you put on the list that would make it a little harder.
Yeah. But I'm right there with you with Batman versus Superman. I think we didn't finish it. I got probably like halfway through it and shut it off.
Yeah.
I can't. Justice League. Did we watch Justice League? I think we did watch Justice League, but I think I fell asleep watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Batfleck's got to go. I'd rather have George Clooney and his bat nipples than Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, to me, it wasn't terrible for what it was. And like I said, I kind of enjoyed it. I also watch it. Like, have no problem with it.
I'll throw it on every now and then to watch. So.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to watch Batman and Robin.
Especially if you go back and you watch like the original 2. I watched the original 2 and Forever probably more than all of them, besides like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Or not Dark Knight Rises. What's the first one called?
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. That's actually a really good. That movie is probably like one of the more underrated Batmans. I think everybody thinks of Dark Knight when I think of like the Christian Bale ones, but if you go to that Batman Begins, that's actually a really good movie.
It took me a couple watch throughs to really appreciate it, but it's a good origin movie for Batman, and plus it doesn't dive right into your main Batman villains like Joker and Two-Face and all that, and you get villains that don't really get like that big of a spotlight. So you got Ra's al Ghul as the main villain for this.
Yeah.
I love the Batman movies. Well, the ones I've seen so far, except for Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
But that's more of a Superman sequel than it is a
A Batman
standalone.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really got too like big into superheroes. Uh, I mean, except for the cartoons, like I don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed Spider-Man animated series and X-Men and just the live action superhero movies. Like I never could really get into as much as like cartoons, because like for me, like cartoons, like it still kind of remained like a fantasy.
Yeah.
Uh, where like kind of like you're reading a comic, like you can still imagine the story in your head better than anybody can CGI anything in a movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I never got into the like live action superhero movies. I've been more of, like a fan of like to me like the animated Amazing Spider-Man movies are way better than any Spider-Man movie they put out, not to include all the uh, Marvel movies.
So the Amazing Spider-Man ones?
The one with what's his face?
Oh, Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield?
No, 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 no. The animated
Oh.
uh the one where it's Miles Morales.
Oh yeah, Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, that's what it's called. I
Those
said
were
Amazing Spider-Man. That was yeah, that movie to me was better than any other Spider-Man movies, like the
those
live
were
action one.
so good. I'm still waiting for
Uh
that last part. Whew.
yeah. The animated Batman movies, like those are good movies.
Good
You know what
Mask
I
of
mean?
the
Like
Phantasm.
yeah. I don't
I
know if
was
you've
so
seen any of
hyped.
that.
So hyped when Mask of the Phantasm was coming out.
Yeah.
Because like
But
that was like because Batman animated series, like me and my two like close friends at the time, like we'd get home from school and that's like the first thing we did was like Batman the animated series, and we were talking about it the next morning at the bus stop, and then like Mask of the Phantasm's coming out. We're like, oh my god, like it's a Batman animated series movie
yeah,
in the theater. Like
yeah,
we tried so hard to get to the theater to see that, but no one would take us.
yeah. The Transformers is another one. The Transformers animated movie
Oh yeah,
is way better than any of the live action ones that they put out.
GI Joe.
And I kind of did like the first original Transformer movie, like live action one. That wasn't too bad.
I saw it in the
But the other,
theaters. I loved that
yeah,
one. Was good. I like that one.
yeah.
That one was good, and the Bumblebee movie was pretty
I
good.
could get
I like
into
that
it.
one.
It's not the one where it's like a like love bug or whatever. Like
Yeah,
be like a little yeah. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
couldn't get it.
So that or set original design for Bumblebee and all that. So that was kind of like a reboot type for like the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. So there we go. We're getting rid of Batfleck. All right. So now I'm going to hit the right music this time. Of course, it's brought to you by Redbubble Store. Check it out, redbubble.com/people/WrestleGunPod, and check out some of our merch. Buy some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some Redbubble stuff. There we go. All right, no holds barred this week. One of the biggest things coming out. We were talking about superhero movies. Marvel dropped a cast announcement for Avengers Doomsday. And quite a few returning MCU characters and some Fox X-Men cast members. So I'm excited for this. So basically, this is going off of the, from what I'm understanding, is supposed to be the Battle World story arc, but more based in the multiverse with Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man, which comes from Another one of the multiverse stories where Iron Man becomes Doctor Doom. But we've got a lot of returning cast members, pretty much the entire cast of the Fantastic Four movie that's coming up here soon. Will be in this as well. Chris Hemsworth is returning, Anthony Mackie. Pretty much the majority of the Thunderbolts cast from that upcoming movie. But some of these other ones were kind of awesome to see. Shang-Chi will be back as well. But we're getting Tom Hiddleston reprising his role as Loki. Winston Duke will be back as M'Baku from Black Panther. The new Black Panther, Shuri, the actress that plays Shuri, will be back as well. But we're getting Patrick Stewart. Will be reprising his role as Charles Xavier. James Marsden will be back as Cyclops. Rebecca Romaine will return as Mystique. Channing Tatum will be in there as Gambit. Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Halle Berry will return as Storm. Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine. So there is... This is probably going to be like the biggest cast since freaking Infinity War.
Yeah. I don't know. I might have to watch it just to see how they buried her Storm outfit.
Hopefully they update it. Man, if we don't get no damn blue and yellow X-Men costumes in this movie, can we do it right?
Yeah, I have to wait.
Oh, sorry, Ian McKellen's back as Magneto as well.
Is Deadpool gonna be in it?
No. We get Namor from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So this will be his first interaction with the Fantastic Four cast. Since Namor is one of the big antagonists for the Fantastic Four as well. What else was in here? A lot of the Captain America, Brave New World cast returning. I'm so psyched for this, just from the cast announcements. Oh, Alan Cumming is returning as Nightcrawler from X-Men 2. Well, should be good. Should be good. I'm sure there's more people that they haven't announced yet.
Oh, but drop my phone.
Oh, snap. That was my biggest thing for No Holds Barred. You're getting deep into college basketball.
Yeah. Today, had a couple big games. It was the Sweet 16. And some interesting results, I would say. Tennessee took out Kentucky. Michigan State took out Ole Miss. But we start again tomorrow with Elite Eight. We got Duke and Alabama. Like, that's something I ain't think I'll see in basketball in a long time. A Duke and Alabama game and Elite Eight, but yeah. And you got Florida, Texas too. Yeah. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far. There's a couple of Cinderella teams at the beginning, but now it's kind of back to the some of the bigger teams and stuff. So we'll see how it ends.
Nice. And I keep seeing keep getting TikTok notifications to finalize my March Madness brackets.
You ain't
There's nothing
finalized.
on my feed that even pertains to March Madness. Why are you sending me this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, awesome stuff.
Yeah,
Let's see. Well, I haven't watched any movies recently. Or did we?
I watched that Bill Burr special. I think I talked about it last week though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want to see the Cinderella movie since everybody thinks it's like the worst movie ever.
Oh, the Snow
Uh,
White movie.
yeah, because it's one of the things that might be so bad that it's good. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see. The critics gave it a really bad score, or really bad review, but like Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is like 74%. So I mean, it can't be
Yeah.
that bad. I don't know. It just kills me.
Okay.
And it didn't help either that the actress that's playing Snow White was, trashing the movie before it even came out during her press conference for like her press rounds and stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things like every once in a while, it's like you want to see a bad movie. So it's like if
yeah,
the movie's that bad, I might want to see it because it might be. Sometimes the movie's so bad it's good. You know what I mean? And so kind of want to see it now.
yeah. I'm disappointed they went with like CGI dwarves instead of actually hiring, little people to actually play the dwarves. But I think
Are
that
there
has
dwarves
to,
in it?
yeah. But they're all
Oh, I
it's
didn't
all
know they were.
CGI. Yep.
I thought they said they had left them out or whatever.
No, they CGI'd them in. Um,
Uh,
yeah, it was what's his face? The Peter Dinklage was like all outraged because like their Disney was actually going to hire dwarves to play the seven dwarves, and Peter Dinklage said, that dwarves shouldn't be relegated just to those roles when there are dwarf actors out there that would have taken those roles just to
yeah,
add it to the resumes and you know get put in a Disney movie or make a paycheck off of it. So because of Dinklage's outrage, Disney decided to CGI dwarves instead.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see. It's one of those things that's kind of like poor timing because it's like Snow White is such an old movie. Like
Yeah,
it's not really like nostalgia for a whole lot of people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like so.
And people pissed off because Snow White's Hispanic.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh Lord, here we go.
yeah, you gotta deal with all that too.
Yeah, and now they're pissed off because we were talking about Avengers Doomsday. People are pissed off because they whitewashed Doctor Doom.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, but that's literally playing off of a comic story arc where Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom. That's
yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
Terrible stuff. I think that's pretty much it. It's like all the big
Yeah.
stuff I wanted to hit. So,
We talked about they coming out with that. I know you did last summer.
uh, I think we mentioned it a while ago because I know Freddie Prince Jr.
That's
was
probably
talking about it on his podcast.
yeah. No, it's probably like what in the hell? Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds like it was something my take could be.
Have they dropped anything for that, like trailers or anything yet?
No, but I saw a poster. That's why I was like, oh, it's like the hook or whatever. A little,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. And I was like, I know she did last summer. And I was like, oh, okay. So there, it is real.
Yep. Looks like it's in post production according to IMDb. So a few of the basically it looks like Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. The only two looks like the only two original cast members I see. Sort of one else.
Hopefully, it's like some kind of cameo or something. They're
Yeah,
not like main characters.
He said he didn't have like a huge role in it, reprising his character, but yeah, probably gets killed.
Hopefully. Oh, Freddie Prinze.
Oh, so it's essentially the same thing. Storyline with five friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident to cover up their involvement, make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. A year later, the past comes back to haunt them. Forced to confront a horrifying truth, someone knows what they did last summer and is hell-bent on revenge. One by one, friends are stalked by a killer. They discover that this happened before, and they turn to two survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997 for help. So that'd be Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I wish it would have been like a completely like redone.
Yeah,
remake.
They have a series on Prime.
I think that's where they messed up with the whole Scream thing. It's like Scream partially got rebooted instead of trying to continue the story.
Yeah, I might be in the minority, but I like the last few Scream movies. I thought they were pretty good.
I haven't seen the last one, but the one before that, I didn't really care for it too much.
Let's see what happens with the next one. It's been rumored that Matthew Lillard is supposed to be back for this one, and who else is coming back? Matthew Lillard.
Gonna be so mad at him.
It's him and David Arquette.
Okay.
Next year is Nev Campbell's supposed to be back as well. Courtney Cox. Apparently, Sydney has a daughter. That's neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
If Billy can have a daughter, Sydney can have a daughter.
Yeah. So it's coming out next year, which will be the 30th anniversary year of the original Scream release.
Yeah. They should have did it like Halloween H2O and just like make it a direct sequel from the first movie and pretend like all the other movies didn't exist.
That'd be awesome. Can get rid of a few of those.
Or actually, H2O went back to after the second movie. I forgot, not all the way back.
I guess they're trying to cut out that Halloween 3.
Well, Halloween 3 was never in technically in the thing. They was trying to cut out the whole 4 and 5 with the little girl or Jamie, because in that storyline, Jamie Lee Curtis character got killed in like a car wreck or something,
Oh yeah,
and that
that's
was her
right.
daughter. That was her daughter, and so it cut out those two movies and Curse of Michael Myers because that was like based off that storyline, and then it it's like uh uh she actually didn't die in a car wreck or had a little girl. She had a son, and she's a professor at a college.
That's right.
Yeah.
I still have to go back and watch. I watch Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends still.
Halloween ends, Lord, don't bother. Uh, Halloween
So
Kills was actually Halloween Kills was actually pretty good. I wish
I
they would have
liked
ended there.
I liked Halloween. Um, that first one out of those three, I thought that one was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Um,
If you like that one, you'll like Halloween Kills.
yeah.
Uh,
I saw it was like a direct continuation, so it's like all within 24 hours
yeah, yeah.
of the first
But
movie.
the Halloween ends or whatever, it's just it's stupid. Like they went off of it out in left field with it.
Oh, yeah, I heard it wasn't that great. So not really. I'm gonna watch it anyway because like I start watching a franchise or a show or something that I know is like has like everything available is out there to watch. Like I'm gonna watch all of it because I can't not just watch all of it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just not looking
You know
for
what I wish they would have did? I wish they would have made sequels to that Friday the 13th. Remember the one they did the reboot of?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah, they should have like did a sequel to that.
I
I thought the
liked.
reboot
I
was really
really liked
good.
that reboot. Like I didn't like the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, but I liked the Friday the 13th one. I thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
good.
never on Elm Street one. That one it's so good.
And it was
But
like I really loved how they did like they had the series of tunnels underneath the camp, which
yeah,
explained how like he was able to get from one side of the camp to the other.
yeah.
So like I really liked that whole explanation of all that. So like I
And then
thought,
I like how they like got all the origin like out too at the beginning.
yeah,
Out of the way. It didn't, start it with his mom or anything. But yeah. Yep. Trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't know what I can think of.
Yeah, nothing like uh too crazy.
Awesome. So,
I saw a lot of people were upset with Chloe Clarkson because she was on somebody's show and she was complaining about kids having performances during the day at like 10 o'clock. And she's like, "Yeah, you need to have it after school." And like people are like, "You do understand that most teachers nowadays have to go to their second job after they finish school."
yeah, but I mean in that same aspect too, it's like anybody else that has a second job and they have something coming up for their first job, um, like the main job, not the part-time job, the full-time job. Like you put
Yeah,
in
but
the
you're not
time
getting,
off, request the time off from your part-time job to.
but you don't get paid for after school stuff. You know what I mean?
It's our kid's school does.
The teachers get paid for after school when they're after school,
Yeah,
or they get overtime paid.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like when they do, like, because every teacher at our kid's school is required to have a club, run some type of club or sport thing. Like the money that goes into that pays the teachers and pays for supplies for that club. But they'll do they do their assemblies and concerts like towards the end of the school day. So
Yeah.
like early in the morning. But it's not like when we were kids and like they'd have like your spring concert at like 6 o'clock at night. So,
Yeah. I mean, my kids they usually do it. They usually do it for the Christmas concert, but the spring concert is usually like during the day, like during school hours.
yeah.
And even then, I think it's on like a volunteer basis. Like I don't think the staff that does show up is like getting paid for showing up.
Well, they're all most teachers are salary anyway.
Yeah.
I love this. So they're doing the contract signing on SmackDown right now. And Roman came out first, signed the contract. Seth came out and said what he had to say, signed the contract. Punk comes out. Seth is sitting in his chair looking like the complete opposite direction of Punk.
Yeah.
Like looking at them all, making eye contact with them. It's freaking awesome.
Then Rhea Ripley comes out and signs the contract.
Signs the contract. Ooh, Rollins is pissed.
Rollins is always pissed.
Because Paul Heyman, just hyped up Punk. He's like, you deserve this. You're a WrestleMania main eventer, all this other stuff. And like Punk's sitting there, he's like getting showing a little bit of emotion. And Roman gets on the mic. He's like, yeah, one man's dream is another man's paycheck. And then Rollins is like, you don't deserve this. Then he goes through all this stuff and you don't get to, tear up. It's like, you don't deserve any of this. This is going to be a great match at Mania.
Yeah, it should be. It'd be cool if it was for a title, but who cares? We gotta have some old guy that wrestles 3 times a year.
Oh, awesome. Oh, all right. Well, I ain't got anything else for this week.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, let's take her home.
The WrestleGeddon Podcast.
That was the wrong button again.
The WrestleGeddon.
It's the right button. Oh, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you guys for checking us out as always. This is episode 278 of the WrestleGeddon Podcast, creeping up on that 300 here.
Yeah.
I think we've outlasted Nitro.
Almost.
We're getting there. So, we definitely outlasted a few other shows like Wrestling Society X and
What if I do?
Warrior,
We
Master
passed
Warrior.
them in like
A while ago.
like episode 12, episode like 16 or something.
Global
Can't remember how many
Wrestling.
episodes.
Oh man, awesome stuff. All right, guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets, Wrestling Gun and Pod, pretty much on everything. YouTube.com/ForTheCollection. Like and subscribe and hit that bell down there in the corner to get them notifications for when we go live or upload some new stuff. On behalf of myself, Chris the Heat Matthews, and the Tennessee Jesus Carl Crossland, this is a Wrestling Gun podcast. We'll be with you all next week. Later, Marks.